Dr. Matli is going to be our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. He is an associate professor in digital transformation and innovation at the University of South Africa School of Business Leadership. He is a skilled academic practitioner and highly knowledgeable in various fields of academia, research, teaching, governance and community work practices. He is a multidisciplinary researcher with interest in ICT for development, cutting across a vast social issues. Let's go ahead and welcome him on board.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking time to attend the discussion. My name is Walter Matli. I'm affiliated with the University of South Africa, UNISA. It's a distance learning institution. I'm going to make a presentation that is centered on, we understand how the pandemic has changed or has had an impact into our teaching and learning. So we're going to look at finding. So internationally, we've seen what the COVID has done in our teaching and learning. It has accelerated because I'm of the view that we're already using these technologies as to accelerate those business processes. And universities been happening throughout the world. However, the pandemic has led to the pandemic that did not allow contact on how innovative, and so that you don't think that online learning and we also need to take into account also some learners, because it now becomes based on where do you reside, that students experience during these skills in implementing learning. And so the principle is called is to use innovation to create a single solution in order to effectively collaborate learning content, technology, and the way we deliver our teaching and learning to the masses. So we're going to look at creating your own engaged online educational training content, how to be innovative in ways that we repackage our material. We need to find mechanism of making environment and also creating, should we opt to continue some of their business processes. For example, COVID has therefore eradicated that business in the time that post office was not operational. Transition to online sales, we need to find alternative line, and again, we need to look at what are some of the challenges. So innovative teaching and learning and results in the introduction of new product processes continuously on the current society. The way we teach is that we can make our teaching and learning who grasp easily through reading types of learning styles. We need to support the moving online, and you're not providing support. We need to make sure that we need to look at alternative ways the students. The extent to which technology is used in teaching debate, everybody knows that as an institution, teaching and learning and assessment. And then also we need to familiarize ourselves with digital instructional design as it is for us. How do we have learned from experience? And we go back with impact to the students' learning, interpretations of digital teaching and learning. And therefore, this already tells us that, and let's just make an example of one of the modules that I teach. The module will just make an example of data policy teachers from the students to understand what is online material. It becomes interesting, interactive to digital features at work. We have a view of digital features, and then we look at the trends and discuss under that. And work and employment, we need to look at technology. There are several ways that one can use to their effect on your learning management. So this is one of the strategies called slides with a lot of interactive links. Slides that cartoons, that by putting cartoons, videos, and slides, that it is in a position that a teacher may prefer to make slides that lecturer may have in the classroom. So we need to ensure that whatever that we use, the material that you put out there, it covers all aspects of different learning styles, so that our students are indeed supported in their teaching and learning. Social justice is to address the adoption of nuggets, among others. So look at the nuggets. Instead of having the entire video of a lesson and interact and do training, what are the we need to understand what are the think of technology infrastructure is one of the will support that. How the people that create the content, what are the skills or links of learning and tools allow students to influence in the classroom. Also, going on, institutions invest in institutions is very important. There are things you need to take into account. Stay in compromised in the teaching and learning. You see that for an hour and about 1 gig of data being in was about need to take into account my presentation.
Couple of questions posted.
People learn to make powered to use. Teachers are also equipped in students are more and that there's no resistance from the become more effective, efficient. How do we support the teachers to make sure in learning and innovation? It may help the institution to ensure that there is additional support that supports the teachers in terms of what they need to do in their classroom or finding better mechanism of coping in the classroom. And another question says, you speak about learning style and you mentioned Nugget that should deal with these styles. How do you bring in movement and kinetic learning into your online run during the pandemic? But your practical classes. So one of the lectures, the clips with the student, then they can do them what they have seen on the on. So instead of they get a chance to students to do the experiment.
It was a pleasure to reply back to our delegates on the same.